Hi, and welcome to the Good Enough Homestead. Today I'm going to show you our process with the goats and the chickens. So right now you just see me getting ready to get out into the cold weather. I gotta really bundle up. And it's a little bit of a walk to the barn, but that's kind of nice. It gets me awake in the morning and gives me a lot more steps. I'm usually greeted by at least one cat, if not all four barn cats, who you'll see coming up here in a second. The one that greeted me just there was Cooper. Our cats really act a lot more like dogs, and they just make me really happy. They're very funny and they do a lot of silly things and follow me everywhere. So we kind of have a double lock once the goats got out and scared us. So we have a little pole that goes into the ground and the chain that we have to remove. I always close it again after myself so that they don't go running out. They haven't tried to bolt yet, but you never know. Right now we still have a sink in front of the chicken coop because I haven't made the door yet. I told Brad I wanted to do that. I was turning on the light there so that they have a little more light in their chicken coop. It's pretty dark in there, and they were not laying any eggs, I think because they weren't getting any of the daylight during the day, and then at night the day is now so short that they are not laying as much. So we added just a light bulb. It's not a heat lamp, and that has upped their production again. So now I'm getting the food for the goats. The food I'm using right now is just a normal goat food. We do make sure that it's specific to goats because it will have the vitamins and minerals specific to them. And then this one that I'm getting in now is a sweet feed. So I do 1 scoop of that and 2 scoops of the normal feed, and then I mix it all up. Chickens like to try to eat it, which is fine for them. They can actually eat goat food, but goats cannot eat chicken food. So I mix it up a little bit, and then each goat gets 1 scoop. That little Walmart party cup I'm using is actually the perfect size for the amount that the goats are supposed to have per the back of the bag. I usually have to shake some things out of the buckets, and it's always better for them to go up because otherwise my chickens eat the food alongside the goats. The third bucket I'm still holding because the white goat, her name is Marty, this one's Danny. Marty gets a little bit bullied by Danny, so I have to put her food apart from the other two so that she has a chance to eat it. Mary is the small brown goat, and she is fine with Marty, but Danny, for whatever reason, takes exception to Marty and often takes her food. So right now they're kind of fighting over the 2 buckets. I had to move that stone in front of that gap so the chickens don't get in there. Otherwise they lay eggs in there all day. So now I'm just trying to get Marty over to her food. Usually that's not a problem. She just goes right over to it. Into the chicken coop, and again, another Walmart plastic party cup. They're not the throwaway kind. They're the ones that are in the children's party section. And I just fill the feeder. Takes about 8 of these usually. I think Brad does a little less, so he might not be happy when he sees this video. All the chickens come in and out of the door the whole time just to kind of get their food. They don't really seem to have a problem with one chicken not getting enough food, so I don't monitor them at all. These little containers are supposed to stack on top of each other and be really great. I find them often I get the thread off and have to redo the lid, and they're so lightweight that they get knocked around a lot. Alright, so now I'm leaving the pen. Gotta redo all the lock and the second lock. And then I'm gonna put water in the bowls. We do have 2 heated bowls that actually chickens, goats, and cats share, and it does last them all day. So this guy takes a little bit of muscle. Alright, that's done. Turn that off and then head over to the cat barn. They will eventually have a cat door. I usually feed them at night, but I typically just glance in and see if they have any food in their bowl, which they usually do, and they did today. But you'll see that we have a log in front of the door and a log between the door and the frame, and that's because we haven't cut out a cat door yet. So once we do that, we won't keep the door ajar like this, but until then, we wanted a way to kind of keep it shut but allow the cats to go in. Alright, they had enough food. I didn't give you a great look around in there because it really needs to be cleaned out. And then I head back in and try to stomp off the boots. They are always disgusting, so I actually put them in the garage. And then I'm actually done with the goats and the chickens until the evening. I won't need to do anything else out there until then. Okay, we are back and ready to go out and put the goats and the chickens to bed. So once again, I've bundled up and I'm just putting on my gloves. It's quite a dark walk out to the barns. I won't make you do the whole thing. If you remember, I said I feed the cats at night, so going into the barn to give them some food. Closing them up for the night, and then I'll head back over to the goats and the chickens. Doing all of this in a pretty dark You guys have seen it before, so you can kind of guess what's happening at this point. I'm just unlocking the gate. I almost always find a couple of chickens up at the top of the barn door. Right here I'm looking for eggs just in case, because sometimes I find some in the corners. I noticed earlier that their hay was looking a little sad, probably because the chickens kept nesting in it. So I'm going ahead and cleaning this out, and I'll get them some new hay here in a second. Right after I've moved that shovel. Yeah, you guys can't really see in here, but there are hay bales and straw bales. And actually Danny and Mary decided to come help themselves, but I cut that part out because you can't see them anyway. Turns out I've got several things to learn about the GoPro. Marty's always a little bit hesitant. We used to have to chase her in, so sometimes it takes her a minute. Danny decided to help herself. I always imagined hay would just be this chaotic mass of individual straws, whatever you want to call them, strands, but they actually kind of form these little rectangular pieces, and you kind of have to rip them apart a little. The goats were pretty excited to get in there. I'll let you watch them eat for a second. Okay, and now it's time to lock them up for the night. Luckily, my 2 chickens on the door headed over by themselves. I had to grab one other chicken who was out and put her in her box. I looked in the boxes and there were no eggs, and I thought, oh no, we didn't have any eggs today. And as I was leaving, I saw 9 in the corner. I tried to show you guys where they were and putting them in the egg apron, but it was too dark again, so have to move the door back, which of course is the sink, until we make the door, and turn out their light so that they get some rest. Heading back to the house, and I like to, in the night after the kids are in bed, of course, with just a little hygge. If you've heard of hygge, it's all the rage right now. H-Y-G-G-E. I always thought it was Higgy. There's Berkeley. Good night, Burke. But it's basically anything that's warm and comforting and glowy, things that make you feel peaceful. But before I can do that, it's time to put the eggs away. That is a skelter that I'm putting the eggs into. My mom found it for me. She's amazing with the finds, and I love displaying the eggs on it. I don't wash the eggs right now because they will last longer if you don't wash them off, and you can keep them out of the refrigerator that way as well. I do wash my hands, but I did not show you that. This is one of my favorite tea brands right now. They have come in really pretty containers, so this one's just peppermint. I like to turn off some lights as I go so that you just kind of have that nice dim glow. A little fake fire over there, but provides ambiance, so that works. Onyx was very interested in the candle. She also tried to drink my tea. Okay. And now I get to relax, and so do you. I hope you have a great night, and we will see you again soon at the Good Enough Homestead.